What's up, everyone? It's not your average podcast in the 716, and I'm by myself today when it comes to my host. But don't fear, don't fear. I have somebody here for you. This is Offseason Talks, and I have a special guest. I'm going to allow him to introduce himself. So, yeah, go ahead, sir. Do your thing.
So thank you, T. Congratulations to you and Mike, man. Appreciate you so much, man. My name is BroBro. Representation man of the No Man Fantasy Sports Podcast every Tuesday, 9 o'clock, YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch. Make sure y'all go check it out. But it is all about y'all today, so I just thank y'all so much, man, for blessing me with y'all presence.
For sure, for sure. I've been wanting to have you on for a long time. You are a die-hard Buffalo's Bills fan, and I love it. So we met on Twitter, and I don't even know how it happened, but it just happened. And I went into some of your live. You guys be doing the damn thing over there, and and you know your stuff. So let's get into this season, or last season. Now that the season is over, what are some of your takes from the 2024 season?
Well, you got to start with the obvious. The obvious is that Joshua Allen stepped up and had quite a year. That's why he was named the most valuable player of the league this year. And then when you look at the growth of James Cook and how it progressed the offense in totality with not necessarily having the Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis crybaby situations on the sideline, if you will. But just to have that camaraderie together with these guys, knowing that they're against pretty much against all odds. Nobody was pretty much picking them outside of us as Bills fans to think that they would even win this division. So the mere fact that they not only did that by about week 13, they pretty much put themselves in position to get the 1 seed, didn't get it. It's not a bad season. This was, to me, one of the best seasons the Bills have had in quite some time. So, I mean, as a Bills fan, I'm happy.
Right. I can attest to that because man, this last off season was hard. I mean, as fans, as Bills fans, everyone was doubting you out. And going into this season, national media was just like, oh, the Bills are going to finish third. And I'm like, okay, I know we removed a piece from this offense, but we didn't remove Josh Allen. He is still our quarterback. Did you imagine going into this offseason, the Bills being one away from the Super Bowl? Like one game away from the Super Bowl, removing Diggs, removing Davis, removing all of the people like Trey White, Poyer, Hyde. We were one game away. Did you even think that we could be even there?
No. I had us making the playoffs. I thought that there was just still too much to say about a quarterback that people want to put at the bottom of that top 6, 7 quarterbacks when you talk about Josh Allen. So just having him let me know, ironically, that we would eventually make the playoffs, whether it be wild card or something. That's what I had us going. I had that division being a lot tougher just because of what was on paper. But when you just look at the way these guys went in week in and week out and stepped on this field with pretty much, like I said, this is what they went into the season knowing. Nobody believes in you. And when you get that type of, I don't want to say just output from the fan bases, because it's really only a couple knuckleheads in the media that seem to think Josh Allen really ain't him. But just when you get everybody pointing the finger at you saying what you're not going to do, it drove this team. And you can see it every week, especially in a guy like James Cook, man. I just want to give him his flowers, man, because he really is special, man. So kudos to him, man.
Yes.
Bills and all.
So speaking of James Cook, this is not one of the things that we were supposed to talk about, but seeing that you brought it up, how do you feel about the $15 million?
Well, look, Bills fans are probably not going to want to hear all this. They just want to get to the meat and the potatoes, but this is the facts. For the last, I would say, about 11 to 12 years, you have been looking at these owners trying to degrade this position, trying to make it seem as they can get a running back anywhere. And time again, you see one of these generational, if you will, running backs come across. Now, I'm not saying James Cook is generational, but we don't know what type of generational talent he may have if you allow him to go somewhere Marshawn Lynch, because Marshawn Lynch coming into the
Ooh.
Buffalo Bills a while ago when we drafted Marshawn Lynch, he wasn't looked at as to be the Marshawn Lynch that ended up being in New Orleans. And so I think, I'm just going to tell y'all now, it's his time. He's the running back that's next up. It's no different than the quarterbacks that are next up. If he takes a friendly deal and says, you know what, I think I'm worth about $10, $11 million, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what's going to happen? The next running back that is up, he ain't going to have no bargaining to because James Cook decided not to fight. And so he has to do this. Even if you look at it as being selfish, even if you look at it as saying we don't want to deal with that because we just deal with some similarities with Stephon Diggs.
Right.
But the bottom line is he has to do this. He can't not ask for the maximum that he thinks he's worth.
And you know what? Listen, me and Mike are always saying about, this pod, we're about get your money, man, get your money, get the bag, because you're only going to be in this league for so many years. And I'm with it. What I don't like, because like you said, we've just came off the Diggs situation and all of that. Oh, his brother and all of that stuff, where I just didn't like the fact that he removed everything. And, that maybe that's your bargaining tool, whatever you want to do. I just don't like the antics of that. I get why they do it, but as a fan, you hate to see that. You know what I'm saying? But listen, get your money. I don't know if you're worthy of 15 because there's other running backs that are not even like Saquon didn't get 15. Like, I don't know if he's going to set the market again.
But Saquon was a prime example of why these owners
True.
are trying to devalue the market.
True.
If you look at Saquon this year, and clearly he's outperformed that contract.
Absolutely.
Maybe not this year, but the following year, he's probably going to ask for another contract just because he knows he doesn't have much life left. The life of a running back on the average, we know, is 3 to 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
If you take James Cook right now, he is going into his 4th to 5th year, which means that in year 3, James Cook has been the best version you would want him to be on the Buffalo Bills. Going forward, if you take and again, to go back to what you were speaking about value
mm-hmm.
and his value, right? Regardless of what, he knows this. The Bills are in cap hell.
Yeah.
So for them to go out and for him to say, well, I think I'm worth X, Y, Z, he knows they can't give it to him. And they probably already had conversations.
Oh, for sure.
Saying, we're not going to give you that type of money. And I'm going to put it out there, and I don't know who's going to agree with me as Bills fans, but this is the bottom line. I've seen this multiple times where organizations know that a player is coming up for said contract, if you will. Now, I'm not saying the Buffalo Bills purposely did not give James Cook that football in the playoffs, but something ain't correct. And I'm just telling you, it don't make sense.
Right, right.
So we shall see.
But also, too, when it comes to James Cook, I think still he has the meat on the bone because he wasn't used crazy in college. So he still has, I guess, those legs. So, going into last year, not the season that just happened, prior to that, he was breaking out then. So this year you thought, yes, he's going to have a breakout season, and he did. And this season coming up, I think is going to be the same. He still has, 2 more years, right? Or a year?
He has still a year, and the sad part is that it's probably we're not going to even make it to that point because if you look at just the running back market in general, just the running back market, not the overall talent virus players that are going to be free agents. Looking at the running back market, he's it. You can say what you want about the next guys. You can say what you want about who may be available later on, but James Cook is going to be the guy. And oh, by the way, if you're talking about a guy that's hit the perfect timing to be in this type of situation, it's James Cook. You look at what Saquon Barkley just did. You look at the fact that the last time we seen a running back probably play to this may have been one of the best running back seasons in NFL history. When you talk about Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, James Cook, the guy up in Indianapolis, you just have so
Jacobs.
many guys.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Jake Taylor, you have so many guys that are playing right now, so I just don't see how this is going to end well for us.
I'm hearing people say it's so many. It's like 50-50, I guess. Some people like give him the money. Some people like, no, he doesn't deserve 15. Get your money, young man. Get your money. And I can't see this offense without a James Cook, personally. You know what I mean? So, and Josh loves him. So hopefully that leans on he stays, because I don't know if I can see an offense without James Cook. I like Ray Davis, but he ain't no James Cook.
Well, that's another thing that's going to go into play. Ty Johnson may be gone too.
Oh, and I don't like that either.
let's just hypothetically, if you do not pay James Cook, that means you're going to probably overpay for Ty Johnson.
Which you don't need to.
My point exactly. So we'll get into it. I just don't want. I don't want to spill my beans.
Okay. All right. So and this might be another sore spot. How confident are you in Sean McDermott getting the Bills to a Super Bowl? Well, here we go.
So my wife told me to be nice about it, and I'm just going to be nice about it.
Just be you.
I love Sean McDermott.
Mm-hmm.
I love the fact of how he came up in coaching, who was coaching prior to him when he was on staffs in Green Bay and so forth.
Right.
I love his upbringing as a coach.
Mm-hmm.
What I dislike about where we are right now is that we've seen Sean McDermott in 5 playoff series, if I'm not mistaken. 5. Okay. Mm-hmm. 5 opportunities, right? In all 5 opportunities, you can easily pick out at least one game where he was out-coached.
Right. Okay.
And I just think that we've been to 2 AFC championship games. In both games, we probably should have won. Mm-hmm. And this is a clear indication that Sean McDermott has to do better in these crucial moments. This is another season that Josh Allen, which would be year 8, you have a talent that is without question a top 4 talent in football, right? Mm-hmm. So that means that the window for said head coaches are not 10 years. You don't get 10 years with a top 5 talent. You get 4. If you can't do anything within 4 years, they need to switch up. He's been past that already.
Right.
You know, so I just hope that they don't continue this trend. You know, where we're just constantly having this argument over in the offseason.
So at what point as fans do we give it to players and not executing and not doing their job? Because I hear you. I get it. Like there's some games where I'm like, Sean, come on. And there's some games I'm like Joe Brady, and there's other games I'm like Bobby Babbage. In some games you have to say, okay, players, execute. At what point do we remove it from Sean? I know he's a head coach and he's going to take the grunt of it all. But at what point do we go and say, these guys aren't executing? There's something going on.
Well, there's a combination of it. It's not just at one point in time it's Josh Allen or the defense or the coaching staff, but he's the head coach.
Right.
Like however you maneuver it to give blame to the defense 3 times out of the 5 times in the playoffs. If you want to look at Leslie Frazier, obviously he's already gone, so he's taken the blunt. If you want to look at Ken Dorsey, these are all the things that were put in place for Sean McDermott to be successful. He's removed most of it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So,
right.
Okay, just like you're saying, at what point do we look at the players? The players are getting the blunt of it because I'm not going to say that the coaches don't feel the pain of a loss, but these players are here.
Right.
The Deion Dawkinses are still here. Josh Allen is still here. Mm-hmm. You know, so to look at this talent on this team yet again with this type of loss, think about the way we lost. Like, think about that. Like, if we lose a game where, you know, it's like, hey, the Baltimore ran the ball pretty much down our, you know,
right,
handled us physically. We couldn't compare. We got to get stronger and tougher. I can deal with that. What I can't deal with is that on the 4th down play, you want my quarterback to do everything that you've seen other quarterbacks do when you clearly on the sideline watching what he can't see.
And we had that conversation in your live, and that was a great conversation, because there was a lot of people who are not Bills fans and seen it in different ways. I remember, oh my God, I forgot her name. I think it was Marty. She was saying what I was saying. At like, what point do you say, okay, Josh, call a timeout? Or if you see something you didn't recognize, maybe like I said, call a timeout, because they're saying that combination that happened in that last game, that last series, they never seen before. And I'm like, all right, if you didn't see it, call timeout.
Right.
Because we had 2.
which is which is why she was correct.
Right.
That's why she was correct. And I didn't want to go back and forth with the guys, not wanting to blame Josh Allen. I'm one of those people that stick up for him too. But at some point, if this was Brock Purdy who had made that type of play in the fourth down, he'd have got crucified.
Oh, what? He would have been like, "Oh, he's not good enough. This is why he's not a top 5." You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yes. Yes, for sure.
So, that's why I put so much in. Shout out to Molly, man. That's why one of my closest friends, man. When it comes to this shit, man, she knows her shit. So shout her out.
Yeah, she definitely does. Definitely does. It's the off season, and who do you got the Bills letting go?
So I would, this is a business, and the players hear this stuff all the time, and when the player is surprised with the release, they look crazy in the face and wonder what they can do, right?
Right.
Well, listen, we knew when Von Miller signed this contract, he was not going to play out those 6 years. That's just a given, okay? We're at year 4. It's time for Von to go. You got to cut your losses and understand that the more that you bring him in on those third down plays, you take A.J. Epinesa off growth. You take Gregory Rousseau off growth, even though I think Gregory Rousseau needs to go too. But that's a whole other conversation.
I mean, you can talk about it. Because I when he came, 19 years old, I want to say he was 19, young,
19.
And he's still young. But listen, I need a Super Bowl. I don't got favorites. I don't have favorite players. I like them, but if you're not doing your job, goodbye. Sorry.
Well, if you look and see, people don't get caught up in what Philly did. Everybody just doesn't have that type of talent.
No,
you can't base what you want to do off of what you see, even though it's a copycat league. But what you got to do is you just got to fill those pieces in on your team. Brandon Beane is great at finding this talent. It's not an issue in finding talent. The issue is finding the talent and keeping the talent and understanding that we're trying to build a franchise to win.
And also spending. Spending. Because I'll say this, right? You remember when the Rams did this? Listen, we're gonna do whatever we can to get a Super Bowl. And if that means kicking the can down the field, I'm gonna do it. And they did it, but you like the down season was the down season. It might have been a year or two, but they're back up again. I'm a fan. Like, do it, Brandon. Do it. I don't care. I don't know. I don't know.
I think a lot has to do with the Pagulas. If we're being serious about the situation, they get the stadium that they didn't necessarily finance majority, but that comes with the territory. You get new stadiums nowadays. So it's not like they're losing money from the Buffalo Bills. Now, what you have going on in Buffalo, to be honest, is what's going on with the Buffalo Sabres. The Sabres are not playing that well, which means that their investment is not coming back to
right.
They're not really trying to go all out the way that the Rams were, because the Rams essentially had to say, the owner had to say, you know what, fuck it, we got to do what we got to do. And pretty much that's that. If you look at what Brandon Beane and the Buffalo Bills are at right now, they're pretty much in cap hell because of some bad contracts. And then on top of the bad contracts, you look at what they have. Even if they were to keep and not go and get certain guys at free agency or trade, right? You're still going to be stuck with not enough talent, because no matter where you go and get in the draft pick, it's a gamble.
Yeah, because of where you're at.
Right, yeah. You have a veteran team with the number 30 pick.
Oh, man. So are you a go with getting Myles Garrett?
Listen to me. I have never been more serious in my life when I'm telling you something. If you ain't never believe me when I tell you this. I don't give who in hell what Brandon Beane got to do. He needs to figure it out. If you got to trade that 30th pick, and
I know.
Listen to me. And James Cook, you sent that shit to Cleveland. Whatever combination they're trying to figure out, as long as it's not, the starting tight end Kincaid, taking weapons away from Josh. That's
right.
But everything else, and I'm gonna tell you this, even though it is bad, it is very bad. Our run defense is probably one of the worstest in football. But you know what we do have? We do have one stud on the defensive line. So if they're saying that, the draft picks ain't really what they're trying to do, well, we do have a defensive tackle that I'm sure we would eventually be able to put something around Myles Garrett. We got to change up what's going on.
We do. We can't continue to do the same thing and expecting different results, for sure.
Right. You're coming with the same guys and talking about what we're going to do. No, we're not. We're going to get bullied again. If they don't change Daquan Jones into something much better, younger and faster and stronger, if they don't change something on the other defensive end outside of A.J. Epinesa and Gregory, sometime Rousseau, we're going to be a laughing stock when it comes to defense, as we've always been.
Well, they know they have to change it up because in his presser, in Brandon Beane's presser, he said, and so did Sean McDermott, they don't see. I'm going to ask you, on the defensive side of the ball, where do you see like top tier defense on that defensive side of the ball for the Bills? Do we have three?
I would say Christian Beckford is a lock.
Okay.
I would argue about number 91 just because even though he is undersized, even though the Bills are looking the way they're looking against the run defense, he shows up.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been doing so, especially last part of last year to this year. He's been showing up. So I would say that's two. And I would give the credit to Bernard only because of what he's dealt with as far as not being on the field when it pertains to everybody else. Everybody else, we can let go. I'm Matt Milano included. We can't listen to me.
I get you.
Matt Milano has played great defense for the Buffalo Bills. In fact, Matt Milano's presence back on this defense helped us out a lot.
Absolutely.
But there's still areas that we are just straight ass in.
Yeah.
And this starts with the secondary.
Yeah. And one person that I'm excited to see for the next season is Cole Bishop.
Oh, yes. Yes.
I think we got one. We got one. Like that when that fourth week when he played against Houston, he looked like booty cheeks, but towards the end of the season, I think he got it. And thanks to Micah Hyde coaching him up.
Yep.
You know? So I'm excited for him. You're going to be a GM for the day. And you are going to have the chance to pick the Bills' 30th pick. Who are you picking and why?
I'm just going to be real with you. There's not a guy, in my opinion, at 30 that I'm going to say, you know what, I need him at number 30, whether it be a wide receiver, which they can't afford to go draft one, even though it probably need one.
Mm-hmm.
And so the first thing I would do, I strongly believe that Brandon Beane is much smarter at me than being a general manager. Brandon Beane is doing everything in his power to trade for Myles Garrett. So there will be no first round pick.
Gotcha.
There will be no first round pick. There will be no second round pick.
Mm-hmm.
We will lose one of those second round picks. We will lose that first round pick and a future first round pick, potentially with another player. We will not draft into the second round, and then we won't draft again into the fifth round.
Oh, so, wow. Okay.
It's going to be a pretty boring day for us on draft day.
I don't care. It was a boring day when they got Stephon Diggs. We were just sitting there looking.
Yes.
But I was like, okay, we got Stephon Diggs. We can start this. We can start the season. I'm good. Do you consider that a waste?
With Stephon Diggs?
Yeah.
I don't. You know what I think happened, to be honest? I think what happened, like, I was an advocate for Stephon Diggs because I thought Stephon Diggs brought value to the offense. The problem is, as he did bring value to the offense, if you can clearly see it was taking away the development of Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm.
So from that standpoint, I don't think nobody was able to reach him from that standpoint because he was deemed out. Once that happened, I was pretty much done with him. But I don't think it was a waste because if we don't get Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen had to have a number one receiver from the third and fourth round of the draft, he would have been crucified. And that probably would have broke him.
Right, for sure. Yeah, you're right.
You know how that would have turned out for him. So.
And speaking of the wide receivers, are you a fan? Because I'm telling you, when the whole slogan, everybody's a whole off season, the training camp, all of that. Oh my God, everybody eats. Everybody eats. I was not a fan. I'm still not a fan. I believe that your team needs a number one wide receiver. Where are you at with this everybody eats slogan? And are you in? Are you bought in?
I'm bought in from this standpoint that we don't have no other option. So
Right.
I have no choice to buy in. But if I'm being honest about it, with this team, that's exactly what this team is missing. This team is missing a DK Metcalf. This team is missing that one guy that you have to show.
A T. Higgins.
Right. Well.
Just not saying to bring him in. I'm just saying something like that.
Please, God, no, because that's going to be entirely too much money. He's going to be the highest.
Oh, no, yeah.
He's not worth it. But for us, so I do like the everybody eats, but I think we need and they don't come around that often. But we need a guy that's willing to be Larry Fitzgerald.
Ooh.
We need a guy that's willing to be, quiet but an assassin, an Eric Moles type. And
we had one, but I think he's he's late in his prime. He's got a lot of tooth. Like, what is that? What did they say? The slogan? Oh my God, something in the tooth, whatever. Long in the tooth. It was Cooper.
Cooper, yeah, but the difference between Coop and Fitzgerald is that Fitzgerald, even when he's not open, he's gonna make the quarterback throw him the ball.
Okay, gotcha.
He'll make you say, I gotta give him a shot. Whereas Cooper would just flow with the flow, and if he don't get no targets, he's not gonna make no fuss. And it's frustrating to see a guy of his caliber when he's not even. It's like he's just non-existent. We can't have that at the receiver position. We can't afford that. Yeah,
I also think it was late. I don't know about late in the season. I think if they had a whole year of Coop, it would be a different result. But I get it. I mean, again, I want a number one wide receiver. I think a number one wide receiver was Shakir and Kincaid. It will be different. It will be different.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll number one that's always wanting the ball per se.
Right.
But a number one, I think, in his offense will be so different and great for Josh. Because now Josh is mature enough and vocal enough to say or do whatever. Back when he had Diggs, maybe he didn't feel comfortable doing it.
Right. Well, another guy, and I'm sorry for going back, but
another
guy that is easily could be on the trading mark because of Kincaid is Dawson Knox. Dawson Knox, I believe, is like a $5-6 million cap hit. I wouldn't be surprised to see. I mean, it's a weapon, but you can clearly see that Dawson Knox way in the will of the offense is not the same.
Yeah, his numbers went down. So, I went back and looked at his numbers. His numbers went way down this year.
Yeah. So I can look for him as well to be one of those guys that they could potentially move. Remember, what's going to transpire with Cleveland is you're going to see a domino effect. You're going to see other players, as a cornerback has just come out, Newsom has come out and said he wants out of there. So you're going to see other individuals, James Cook included. Do not be surprised if these are pieces that we see moving, trying to get Myles Garrett over here, because I think it's a given. I think if he goes anywhere else, because he's not gonna re-sign. He's not going to sign a contract with Cleveland. They know, right?
He said he wants to win, and he doesn't want to just. He doesn't want to go to Cleveland and Campton. I want to win. I want something in between there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
The teams like Atlanta, New England, they can forget. You're not winning. So they don't even count. The Philadelphia's, which would be hell.
Washington.
Commanders.
Yep.
The Buffalo Bills. I would even throw in a team like the Baltimore Ravens as well, because
oh God, no.
Lord Jesus.
Jesus, no. Goodness. No.
Just saying, man. Just keeping it real.
I hope he doesn't go there. I really don't. Oh my God, no. I could just see him in the Bills. I'm just gonna think that he's gonna be coming to us because I want Myles Garrett here so bad, and I know we all want him here because not saying it's a missing piece, because I don't believe in, you need one missing piece. I just think on defense, if he's on that defense side of the ball and the way these guys will play with him, it'll be different. And if you can keep Gregory Rousseau, those two, one on opposite side of the ball, come on now.
Well, I know that you're right from the aspect of one guy changing the team. But he's going to be as close as it gets, because the day he steps in the building, leaving Cleveland. The day he steps in the building, that team already believes, oh shit, defensively, we about to be a problem. That's
yes.
the mindset.
Yes, exactly.
So to bring that type of mindset to the Bills, which I'm going to be honest with you, the last time, as we said on the live, the last time I felt comfortable from the DN position from a Bills fan was probably Aaron Schroeder. That was the last guy outside of Bruce that I was like, you know what? Yeah, he ready.
Right.
And we just didn't have a team around him. So.
Gotcha. All right. The last question for you. A successful season for the Buffalo Bills, fill in the blank, this upcoming season.
A successful season.
And I know it's early, but.
I would give a hoot then. Listen, a successful season for the Buffalo Bills looks like Sean McDermott not necessarily folding under pressure, Josh Allen actually getting it done within the fourth quarter, and we prevail on Super Bowl Sunday. That's the only one I can see.
Did you watch the Super Bowl?
I did. I didn't watch the start. I like the halftime show. Shout out to Kendrick. I'm sorry, Drake fans.
Right.
I'm just sorry. But, I mean, in totality, I was just so pissed. Because I didn't think we could beat Philly anyway. Like,
yeah, me
neither.
neither.
With you, I didn't think we could beat Philly.
I mean, I'm a true fan. I'm a fan of football. I happen to be a Buffalo Bills fan. But listen, that defense, that Philly defense is scary. Period. And yeah. And I know our offense is good. Our offensive line is good. I understand all that, but that defense is different. It's different.
It gives me chills just thinking about them chasing Josh Allen.
Yeah, on every level, that defense is different, and we're playing this year. We play them this year.
And Buffalo, luckily.
Yes, yeah. So I can't wait for that. I can't wait for this season. I want to thank you again, BroBro, for coming on the show. And I'm going to have you on often because I just love your football knowledge. Tell the people where they can find you and if you got anything dropping.
So, yes, please be on the lookout for the No Man Fantasy Sports Podcast every Tuesday, 9 o'clock, TikTok, YouTube, and Twitch. That's Eastern Time, 9 o'clock. Y'all can check me out anywhere on social media, No Man BroBro 716. Appreciate all the love and support, man.
Yes, for sure.
Got a lot of stuff coming up, man. Thank you.
Cool. So thank you guys again. This is Not Your Average Podcast in the 716. I'm your girl, T. This will drop I think it'll drop on Thursday. Like a live, and then we'll go on the Saturday. But again, guys, thank you again. And it's always go Bills. Peace out, y'all. If I can do this.